Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
How was your weekend? How was your weekend, Amal? Okay. Nothing special? What is it? Nothing special. Yes or no? I don't understand.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Uh, did you mean that there was something special or nothing special?
Nothing special.
Okay. Fine. So, did you go through the textbook? Hmm? Start studying for the test? At least a little bit. If not, again, only one more week. So please start studying. Don't tell me it was Easter, cousins came over, I had to go there, I had to go this, I went to church, I went to this, I went to temple. It was a holiday, so I slept, I forgot. Don't tell me that I forgot. I don't want to hear that excuse. Please study, okay? Okay. Raina, tell me, what is self-esteem?
A judgment about ourselves.
Judgment about ourselves. Yeah, that's right. Judgment of what? Judgment of our own
Self.
mm, dash of self. Importance. Or there are other two words that I wrote on the board. Are you all keeping the lecture notes with you? Because that is to be filed at the end of the year. Okay, so keep that. That's a most important record that you're having. Yeah, tell me. Don't remember?
On value.
Yes, about our value or our own worth. It is a judgment about our value or worth. Okay. What is self-efficacy, Elvina?
Self-efficacy, which a person is capability to do something by believing themselves,
Hmm. Okay.
like
Yeah, luck. If the person completely believes in luck, then how would you consider him or her? I mean, what level of self-efficacy would that person have? Can you understand the question? I'll repeat. If suppose if I'm thinking that I am not much capable of doing anything, everything depends on luck. I completely believe that the luck factor is the most important one. So will I have high self-efficacy or low self-efficacy?
low self-efficacy.
Low self-efficacy. That's it. Okay. Now self-regulation. Sneha.
It is the ability to control or organize, monitor ourselves.
Okay. Yes. And which were the components or the different techniques that we learned about self regulation or self control? You tell me, Meghna.
Observation of our own behavior,
Hmm.
self instruction,
Hmm.
self reinforcement.
Self reinforcement. Okay. Ashish, which are the cognitive and behavioral aspects of self? Or what do we discuss under that topic? Or did we discuss under that topic? Cognitive and behavioral aspects of self.
uh, culture,
Hmm. We told all those answers just now. That's the heading. So, cognitive and behavioral aspects of self is the heading for all these topics. So tell me what is included in that.
Self-esteem,
Hmm.
self-efficiency,
Efficacy, not efficiency, efficacy,
efficacy, self-regulation.
self-regulation. And as an introduction, you have to write about self-concept. That is also there, page number 26. We discussed that day. I think you missed that class, isn't it? Did you? Yes. Okay. So go through the recorded class once more. And I know you're using the book, the textbook is very important, but please do make small notes and keep as a lecture note. Otherwise, at the end of the day, you won't have time to read all these things. I will give you separate notes also, but that will be also very much summarized form of this textbook. Okay. And that also you will be facing very difficulty and very much you'll be having only very much little time to read through all those. So keep your own lecture notes so that small bullet points can help you revise. Okay. And the important questions that we discussed, I told you the questions that might come for the board exam, that also keep writing in your lecture note or on the side of your text. Better keep a lecture note. Okay. And lecture note is compulsory. That's what we have been instructed to ask the students to keep a lecture note so that we file that at the end of the year. Okay. Just like we did in plus one, a date will be given to you to submit all the assignments or that work, this work, the lecture notes, everything together. Fine. Okay. So with that, and along with culture also, yeah, culture. Few questions from culture. Give me some points to differentiate between the Western culture and Indian culture regarding the concept of self. Sana, any one point. Tell me any one point in which Western culture's perspective and our Indian culture's perspective is different in terms of self. Look at that figure and tell me. Tell. I can't hear you. No, dear. You're not audible. Try once more. No. Amal, can you tell me?
Ma'am, Western culture have more individual self.
Individualistic.
Stick,
And Indian
whereas
culture?
has less in individualistic.
Which means it is collectivistic. So, what is the difference in the way the two cultures view the self? I taught you regarding boundaries. In which culture can we see a clear-cut boundary between the individual and the other?
Western.
Western culture. So, in Indian culture, in most of the Asian cultures, what happens? There is no much clear-cut boundary between the self and the other, self and the environment, or self and the other world. Okay, then dichotomies exist. Dichotomies means total extremities or two main divisions. I told you about black and white, about sad and happy, good, bad. All these are dichotomies, which means they are extremes, two sense. So, how is self, or in which culture is self and the other considered as dichotomies? Which culture? It's an open question. Anybody can tell.
Western,
Western culture. In Western cultures, dichotomies exist. And that figure is also important. Figure 2.1. Mark that. Figure 2.1. That is showing how the boundaries between the self and the group around the self, how the boundaries are maintained, how the boundaries exist among self and the other. Okay. Next is concept of personality. So self is over. Now we move on to the personality part of the chapter. Just like we learned intelligence, we'll have an introduction about it, then the theoretical approach, then how we measure personality or how we test or assess personality. Then what else is there? Assessment techniques are there. That's it. Introduction, theories. In the theories, we have so many concepts. After that, we'll learn about the assessment techniques of personality. Okay. So coming back. Last day we discussed what does persona mean? Persona. What was it? What was the meaning of persona? Mask. Yes. And that is the literal meaning. And personality is actually revolved around this. Okay, that word. We'll see when we read. Okay. Ashish, start reading. The term personality.
The term personality often appears in our day-to-day discussions.
Hmm.
The literate meaning of the personality is derived from the Latin word persona.
Underline. That's an
Mark.
important question. Latin word persona. Latin word persona. If you don't revise daily, you lose everything. You lose track. Okay, so keep revising daily. Not only the subject, all the subjects. Please keep on reading. Okay, Ashish, then. The mask
The mask used by the actors,
in
the
the
Roman
Roman
theaters
theater. Roman
for
theater, underline that. Roman theater. For changing.
uh, for changing their facial makeup.
Hmm.
After putting on the mask, audience accepted the person to perform a role in particular manner.
Yes.
It did
It did
not
not. It did not.
it did not, however, mean that the person enact, enacting the given role necessarily possessed those qualities.
Yes. So what is written? After putting on the mask, audience expected the person to perform a role in a particular manner. Suppose we are doing a drama. And one of you has put on the mask of whom do you want? Reina, who's your favorite character? From movies or cartoons or whatever.
Avengers,
One among them. Choose one among them.
Doctor Strange,
Okay. Amal, who's your favorite character? Choose one.
Iron Man.
Iron Man. Okay, fine. So we are conducting a drama, and Reina is putting on the mask of Doctor Strange. Amal is putting on the mask of Iron Man. Okay, imagine it like that. Now, would you expect Doctor Strange to behave like a Barbie doll? Would you? No. And would you expect the same from Iron Man? No. When that mask is on, then we expect, or the as audience, others expect a particular behavior from that person, isn't it? But what is the next sentence given? It did not, however, mean that the person enacting the given role necessarily possessed those qualities. We cannot say that Reina, or the person who is behind the mask of this Doctor Strange, or let it be Amal, who is behind the mask of Iron Man, has essential qualities of that particular character. It's true, right? When a person puts on the mask, then we expect that person to behave in such a way. But it is not necessary that the person behind the mask has such qualities. That is the uh, meaning of mask here. The word persona, why we are referring to persona here. Persona means mask. It is mainly used, it was that kind of mask which was used in the Roman theater. And from which language is it derived? The word persona, Latin. The word has a Latin origin. The mask, it is referring to mask that was used in Roman theater. Got it? Okay. Now, Meghna, continue.
For a layperson, personality generally refers to the physical or external appearance of an individual. For example, when we find someone good looking, we often assume that the person also has a charming personality.
Mm.
This notion of personality is based on superficial impressions, which may not be correct. In psychological terms, personality refers to our characteristics, ways of responding to individuals and situations.
Underline. Wait. Okay. For a layperson means layperson, normal person, or a common man. That's the common word that we use for common man. But in a more sophisticated way, we say layperson, layman, layperson. Okay. So usually when we had vivas at college, when we were doing PG, when we were doing UG and all, the external examiner would come and they would ask, like, suppose the question is based on personality, and they would ask us, I don't know what personality is, or let it be classical conditioning. The examiner is asking me about classical conditioning, and then I would give a big, sophisticated, very complicated definition. And then what this examiner did is, this person asked me to define that in terms of layman language. Or if I am a layperson, explain to me in layman language, which means without using the technical terms or jargons, explain it to somebody who is a common man. Will you be able to do that? You should be able to do that. Whichever topic you learn, that's why I told you, understand it and learn. Otherwise, suppose if you are talking to someone who is from this field itself, that person might understand, because our definitions has most of the other technical terms. So like here also, see, characteristic ways of responding to individuals and situations. Now in the first chapter we learned the enduring characteristics, which means the long lasting characteristics. These enduring and all, will a common person understand? No. But if that person is from our field, then that person might understand. So you have to know how to explain it to a common person. Then you will actually learn how to explain that in the exam also. So understand that and learn. This is nothing related to our topic, but just I'm telling you. Okay, understand the topic and learn. So for a lay person, what does personality mean? What is given here? For a lay person or for a common man, what does personality mean?
Physical or external appearance of an individual.
Yeah, physical or external appearance, the outward appearance. That is why when we go for an interview or for an important meeting and all, what do our parents tell us?
Wear
Would-
nice clothes.
Yeah, wear nice clothes. And would you go to an interview as if you are going for a what, Sunday night party? No. Would you go as if you are going to a temple, wearing your pattu pavada and your all those things? Would you? No. Then what would you wear? You'll probably wear something formal, right? Something more to a formal side. And what happens? Your outward appearance is making your first impression on the examiner or the interviewer, isn't it? That's why we are asking, or it is more suggestible that you wear something formal. So, the outward appearance, that is the first thing with which people will judge you. So, there, when a well dressed person comes, you might, or the common people might think, yeah, this is a very good person. Or we'll say, you're dressed like a gentleman, you look like a very um, a person with a very good personality and all. Yeah, that's for lay person, for common people. But we, as we know all the psychological processes inside, we can guess that this person might not be the same as he or she looks, isn't it? Because there are lots of things going inside. Even if you see a person smiling, you might, or even at least after these 2 years course of psychology, you will start to think that there are a lot going inside that person's mind, isn't it? Yeah. So that might happen. So for common people, external appearance or outward appearance or the physical characteristics, that is personality. But in psychology, what is personality? That's the next paragraph. It refers to our characteristic ways of responding to individuals and situations. Characteristic ways of responding to individuals and situations. And the fact that you have to notice, um, it should be long lasting. That is why we use the word enduring in the first chapter. It should be long lasting. I have said the same example so many times. If you get angry at one situation just because of some situational factor, it does not mean that it is a part of your personality. Okay. It should be that behavior should be, or that response from your side should be long lasting. Then only it becomes a part of your personality. Got it? Okay. Now, Meghna, continue.
People can easily describe the way in which they respond to various situations. Certain catchwords, example shy, sensitive, quiet, concerned, warm, etc., are often used to describe personalities.
Mm.
This word refers to different components of personality. In this sense, personality refers to unique and relatively stable qualities that characterize an individual's behavior across different situations over a period of time.
Yes, underline that last sentence. That is a more appealing definition. Okay, so study that also. It refers to unique and relatively stable qualities that characterize an individual's behavior across different situations over a period of time. So something should be stable in you. It should occur over a period of time. Not for just 1 day or 2 days or 3 days or a week, but it should occur over months and years and years. Okay, then only it becomes a part of your personality. Got it? Okay. Now, Aishwarya, can you read next paragraph?
If you watch closely, you will find that people do show variations in their behavior. One is not always cautious or impulsive, shy or friendly. Personality characterizes individuals as they appear in most circumstances. Consistency in behavior, thought, and emotion of an individual across situations and across time periods characterize his or her personality. For example, an An
Honest.
honest person is more likely to remain honest, irrespective of time or situation.
Hmm.
However, situational variations in behavior do occur as they help individuals in adapting to their environmental circumstances.
Yes. Okay.
In brief,
Wait. Okay. So if I ask you, how was Gandhiji's personality? What would you say? Tell me a few terms to describe Gandhiji's personality. Mahatma Gandhi's personality. Now don't tell me you don't know Gandhiji. You don't know? Huh. Tell me. Tell me a few features.
The one who does many sacrifices for the nation.
So, how would you describe his personality? He was a sacrificing person, is it? Okay. Then,
He followed truth and honesty.
yes. Then,
For his brave,
hmm? Bravery. Yes.
his patience in handling things.
Okay. Then, that's all. Okay. The next question. You told me about sacrifice, honesty, then his bravery, then what did Aishwarya say?
Patience.
Patience. Yeah, all these factors. And truth and non-violence were his main things, isn't it? And was he truthful in just one situation or towards only a specific people? No. But till the end of his life or to all the people around, he was very truthful, isn't it? He followed ahimsa, yes, and non-violence, yes, and he sacrificed his life. He dedicated his life to bring independence to a nation, isn't it? So all these factors are part of his personality. Why? Because it has been all through. It has been expressed in his life all throughout his life. Yes, that is why it is called as a part of his personality. Suppose we take any other person, and in one situation, um, yeah, one situation, this person is very shy. Let it be a new student to a class. Okay, and the person was very shy to the class on the first day, just on the first day, because he or she is new there and don't know what to do. Not much friends, not yet. So they were just very shy. Can you call that as a part of his or her personality?
No,
No. Why?
because being shy on the first day doesn't mean that that person is shy. That
Yeah.
It's a part of
After
personality.
after 1 week or after 2 weeks, that person might be the smartest among all the other students. Might be. There are chances. Yeah. So that's again not a part of that person's personality. Got it. So if it has to be, if a characteristic has to be a part of the person's personality, then it should be stable, it should be consistent. Consistent in the sense it should be consistently shown in the behavior. If it is inside, then we won't be able to know that this is a part of person's personality. And it should be long lasting. It should last for a very long time. Got it? Okay. Now we'll see some of the characteristics of the personality. How do we characterize personality? How do we explain personality? Or what are the features of personality? Okay, come on. Who will read? Sneha? It's really awkward to call my name aloud. Okay, continue.
A number of approaches and theories have been developed to understand and explain behavioral difference among individuals and behavior consistence within an individual. These theories are based on different models of
There.
human behavior.
What are you reading?
Ma'am, I'm reading in the PDF.
In brief, personality is characterized by. Are you reading there?
No, I'm reading from a number of approaches and theories.
Where is that now?
Sorry, ma'am, I took the PDF wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll read it. Ma'am, is it from like if you watch closely, you will find that people
The
do.
next paragraph. The next paragraph. In brief.
Yeah.
In brief. There are a few points given there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. In brief, personality is characterized by the following feature. It has both physical and psychological component.
Understand that? Did you understand? It has both psychological as well as physical components. Yeah, because in physical it is shown in our behavior. Psychological because we are having some psychological processes going around to show this particular behavior. So it has both physical as well as psychological components. Then
Its expression in terms of behavior is fairly unique in a given individual. Its main features do not easily change with time.
yeah, it
It is
does not change with time. It will not change. The if it is a part of your personality, then it is very, very, very less likely that it will change. Which means it won't change. It won't have much change. Its expression in terms of behavior is fairly unique in a given individual. So your personality might be completely different from the other person's personality. That's what makes you unique. Okay, then fourth point.
It is dynamic. It is dynamic in the sense that some of its features may change due to internal or external situational demand. Thus, personality is adaptive to situations.
Yeah, it is adaptive to situations, but it won't completely change. Dynamic means it will progress, or dynamic in the sense it will have alterations, but it will not change completely. So I'll give you one example. According to we discussed about situationism the last chapter, right? And in that, we told one example, the same example, the aggressive person, very aggressive, very arrogant person. If that person comes in contact with the situation where this person is very much frustrated, want to express his aggressiveness or anger, but he is in a work situation right now. There is his boss and the board members present. Will the person really express the anger or aggressiveness because his job, his or her job is at stake, isn't it? So it's there are chances that this person might not express the anger. There are chances. I'm telling not everybody, but at least some people might inhibit from expressing the anger. So according to situations, according to external or internal situations, these people might hold on or might make small changes in personalities, but it is not the entire change. Like it's not that a very calm person becomes very much arrogant all throughout the adulthood. That's not necessary. So if it is a part of personality, it might show very small alterations or changes according to the situation. I'll give you another example. An honest person, a very honest person who has been honest and holding on to honesty all throughout his life. Suppose this person was captured by terrorists. Okay. And the terrorist had told this guy that not to contact anybody. Now, if you have any cell phones, you have to submit it here. If you have any other means in which you can contact the external world, you have to submit it here. The terrorists have checked the person, and the person somehow managed to hold on to a mobile phone. Okay, and the terrorist came, heard some noise, and asked him whether you try to contact the outside world. This person, because his life is at stake and because he has to escape, told a lie that no, I don't have anything with me. Okay. So again, that wouldn't change that person's personality because he want to save his life and the other captive's life also. So what? For that he said just a small lie. That doesn't mean that from the next day onwards he is a complete liar, isn't it? Does that make sense? Yeah. So if a characteristic has to be a part of your personality, then it has to be long lasting, it has to be stable, it has to be consistent. Personality would not change actually, but small minor variations might occur because of the internal and external situations. Got it? That's a summary of these 4 points. So if I ask you to write the features of personality, if personality in general, because we are going to study about a lot of personalities in the coming portion, type A personality, type B personality, blah, blah, blah. So if I ask a general question to write about personality, write about the features of personality, then you can write this. Also, these points have one more use. If a question comes, if a long answer question comes or a long essay question comes about personality, if you don't know other points, you can write this part as an introduction to personality. Okay, suppose if I ask you one theory about personality, you know only 5 points to write. So to make sure that you have a very good content, you can write this as an introduction. You can write the definition of personality. These are the features of personality. Then suppose I ask you the trait theory by this person. So next is trait theory. This comes as a theory of personality. Then you can explain the theory. These are small tricks in which through which you can get more marks, especially in board exam. Okay. And this time also, as I told you last time during revision, you have to write the long essays as introduction, content, conclusion. The last time's paper, I found some of the papers are missing that format. So try to practice that now itself. Otherwise, you'll again lose track. Introduction, the content, and then conclusion should also be there for long answer questions. Okay? Yeah. Next paragraph. Amal, read. Once we are
Once we are able to characterize someone's personality, we can predict how that person will probably behave in a variety of circumstances.
Hmm.
An understanding of a personality allows us to deal with people in realistic and acceptable ways.
Hmm.
For example, if you find a child who does not like orders,
Hmm.
the most effective way to deal with that child will be not to give any orders, but to present a set of acceptable
Alternatives.
alternatives from which the child may choose.
Hmm.
Similarly, a child who has feeling of inferiority need to be treated differently from a child who is self-confident.
Self-confident. Yeah. Okay, fine.
Several
Okay, that's enough. Thank you. So what is explained here? Why are we studying personality? What is the use of it? That's a general thing discussed here. It helps us to predict behaviors. Helps us to know if you know a person's personality, then you can really predict how this person is more likely to behave in a particular situation, or how this person will respond to a particular situation. Okay. One example is a child or a person who does not like to take orders. Like you can say that I'm such a kind of a person. Like if I am given an order, like a very dominant order, I get really frustrated. But if I'm given alternatives, then it's okay. For example, if a child is there and we are telling the child to, you have to do this work today. It's your duty to do this particular work today. And the mom or dad is ordering that person, ordering that child that you have to do this. Okay. And this child being hated the orders all throughout his life does not like this. Okay. And the child loses the mood to do that particular work. The child gets really frustrated. And another way to deal with the situation is you can ask the child, you have either you can do this work, or if you have time you can do that, or maybe if you're not comfortable with that you might do that. Anything is fine. That is a more polite way, that is a more gentle way to deal with such children. Got it? Giving alternatives. So when they choose from the alternatives, they feel a sense of independence. They feel a sense of what sense of confidence in them, that it is me who chose the work. It was not given by somebody else. I chose to do this. Such a feeling would come. That will also boost their self-esteem too. Got it? So that is one way. That's just an example. Similarly, a child who has feelings of inferiority feelings. I'm not good for anything. They don't value me. Then I cannot do anything. So that person will be high or low in self-esteem.
Low self-esteem.
Low self-esteem, common sense. Okay, they need to be treated differently from a child who is self-confident. That is also self-descriptive, right? Person who is very inferior, person who is very self-confident, they have to be treated differently. If we know that this is there in their personality, then we can treat them with caution. Okay, now next. Reina. Reina already read, right? Elvina.
Several other terms are used to refer to behavioral characteristics of individuals. Quite often that they are used as synonyms of personality. Some of these terms are given in box 2.1 along with their defining features. You may read them carefully to appreciate how they are different from the notion of personality.
Yeah. So here we have some terms. Look at box 2.1. We have some terms which are used instead of personality, mostly by common people. Okay. When I asked you what is personality on the first day, somebody told me it's the character of the person, the characteristics of the person. Remember? We'll see how they are different. Okay. Not different in the sense all of them are related, but with slight variations. Okay. It's like, what do you say? It's like the different shades of red, chili red, brick red. We say, right? Although they are different, they are somewhat similar. That's how the personality, temperament, trait, disposition, character, all those comes. We'll just read through them. Yes, first one, temperament. Rina?
Temperament, biologically based characteristics, way of reacting.
Biologically based characteristic ways of reacting. Generally, after 18 years only, we say it's personality of the person. Until then, it's temperament actually. Temperament, usually we say it's biologically based because of the various hormones, various chemical substances, neurotransmitters, etc. in our body. And because of that, we are showing certain reactions, the reactive ways. Okay, that is temperament. The ways in which we react, which is biologically based. Biology, the foundation lies in the biological part of our body, and that comes as a reaction in our behaviors. That is referred to as temperament. Okay, then trait.
Trait, stable, persistent, and specific way of behaving.
Yeah, it's more like personality itself, right? The stable ways of behaving, behaviors. But for personality, we told that we have two components. What are they? Physical as well as
Psychological.
psychological. Okay. And trait, you will get to know more about it because we have trait approaches and type approaches to learn in the coming section. They are the two approaches. Which are the two approaches of intelligence theories? I asked the question for test, I think.
Psychometric and information processing approach.
Psychometric approach and information processing approach. What was the other name for psychometric approach?
Structural.
Structure. Okay. Like that, we have two approaches here also that we'll learn the coming section. Then disposition.
Disposition. Tendency of a person to react to a given situation in a particular way.
Again, it's more or less the same, but it is worded differently. Disposition means it is a tendency, the tendency of the person. That is the key word there. Tendency of the person to react to a given situation in a particular way. Okay. Then character.
Character, the overall pattern of a regularly occurring behavior.
Overall pattern. It's not a single behavior, but is the overall pattern. What is the frequency of the behavior, with what intensity that behavior is shown, that the pattern of that particular behavior that forms the character of that person. Okay. Then habit.
Overlearned modes of behaving.
Overlearned modes of behaving. If you have learned something, then you're repeating that behavior again and again, and you're expressing that in your behavior again and again, then that becomes your habit. One bad habit, nail biting. One day you bite the nails, next day you started biting the nails, and again this continued again and again. Nobody punished you. Even after just one or two punishments, you again started biting, and it is a overlearned behavior. Got it? Then values.
Values, goals, and ideals that are considered important and worthwhile to achieve.
Yeah, values we you already know. That's the only thing that is somewhat different from personality, isn't it? But again, honesty we tell it as a value, right? When I asked you about values last year, most of you told honesty. I think Amal told honesty, isn't it? I still remember. Yes. So that's also a part. That's what I told you. All these things are interconnected in some or the other way, but they are different. And what are values here? Goals and ideals that are considered important and worthwhile to achieve. That's it. That's it about the introduction to personality. Now, from next class onwards, we'll see major approaches to the study of personality. We have type approaches, we have trait approaches. See, type A, type B, type C, type D personalities are coming up. Then we have so many theories coming up. For PG, this was the toughest portion to learn for us. Okay, let's together make this simpler if you cooperate. Any doubt till now? Anybody? Any doubt till now? Just turn over the pages and see. So what did we discuss today? Just the concept of personality, persona, then the definitions, then the features of personality. I'm taking only small portions, so go home and read. I think it will take only 10 minutes or so, 10 or 15 minutes max. Okay. The rest of it we'll study in the next class. We have one more session today, right? And absentees.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
Grishma told her network is not working.
Who?
Grishma.
Grishma. Okay. Then who else? Mehak is absent. Amal K. Saji is absent, isn't it? How many of you are here? 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. Okay then. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am.